back, everybody, to another episode of Man Bites Film. My name is Lewis.
I'm Will.
And this week we're going to be doing two awesome, basically comedian movies that we saw that we really loved. The first one that I want to go straight into is Doug Benson. This guy, he's a known podcaster and he does like this awesome stand-up comedy. It's mostly like just sophomoric humor about stoners and stuff like that. That's usually what his main thing is. And this was his trolling of Morgan Spurlock at Comic-Con, at San Diego Comic-Con in 2014. The documentary or comedy, it's something weird. I don't know how to... Not even. It's like... It's just his own thing. It's basically like a stand-up, but him trolling this guy. And
so, for those that don't know, who's Morgan Spurlock?
I have no idea.
Cool.
And you don't need to know anything about it.
Even
but
better.
It's just hilarious watching this guy follow him. It's weird. And I was like, who the hell is Morgan Spurlock? And when I saw him, I was like, oh, you know how we said in the last episode about the random person that you see and you're like,
face,
oh,
no name,
yeah.
but you know where it's been.
That's exactly what he is. So this was called Chronic Con episode 420, A New Dope. Yeah. This guy, he basically just does straight up stoner comedy, and it's about him trying to find Morgan Spurlock in Comic-Con. Trying to spot him, trying to find him. So he's hunting and asking random people and random security guards and running into other celebrities in the meantime, and he's trolling them while they're like walking around with their security and their staff and trying to say, oh, have you seen Morgan Spurlock? Have you seen Morgan Spurlock? And you see some of the people, they're like, who the hell is Morgan Spurlock? Who the fuck is this guy? So it became a running joke in San Diego Comic-Con that year that this guy is searching for Morgan Spurlock.
Does he find him?
He finds him. But you know how he finds him? All these people started Twitter war and Instagram war trying to track down Morgan Spurlock because of this guy interviewing all these people.
Wow.
And he ends up finding him on the last day of Comic-Con.
Nice.
Right before he's about to walk into his panel.
So, way to do it.
And the great thing is that this guy is doing like stand-up shows and stuff like that in the clubs near to the Comic-Con. And every night he starts off, where's Morgan Spurlock? I need to talk to Morgan Spurlock. And that's how it starts, that whole Twitter war and the Instagram war that they start looking for this guy. It's ridiculous, but Doug Benson has a presence about him, and it's really, really funny. Like, you just completely lose yourself, and you forget that you're watching this random guy searching for this idiot. It's funny, and it's awesome. Especially if you're stoned, if you're watching this stoned, which I did.
You know what would have been even funnier? If Morgan actually was not real.
Right?
If he came up with a random name that does not exist.
And created a Twitter account and everything.
And people would just like keep looking for him and what, and this person just never existed. And in the end, just acts like, oh well, I didn't see him this time. So people like, I guarantee you, in this day and age when people are eating like Tide Pods. Yeah. They would be like a massive like manhunt across nation for this, whatever name would come up with. I mean, that's the way I would have thought about it. Would have been like,
yeah. I mean, this guy, he literally spawned 2 documentaries based on this thing. That's how infamous it became.
Wow.
Yeah.
We need to do something like that.
Right? Seriously, we gotta go trolling people.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Who can we do?
Best way to do it.
You know who's at
Go
every
to the
convention?
celebration. Go to the celebration of Harry Potter.
Dressed up as Gandalf.
Dress up as Gandalf. And I will go to a Lord of the Rings convention in like Hogwarts robes. Dressed up as like a teacher or as a student. And
whoops, wrong convention.
Asking them, I'm looking for the Chamber of Secrets. You tell them you're looking for the ring. Oh my god. Oh my god.
That'd be awesome. If I had about $1,000 to throw away, I would do it. But no.
Dude, you got a loincloth?
No, I'm talking about $1,000 to get into the stupid celebration thing, man.
Oh yeah, that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, not paying $1,000 to see her. It's like $1,000, the cheapest ticket to get in.
No. Those are the packages. You can get into Universal with just a regular. You can go to the celebration with just a regular ticket.
Yeah, but then you can't get autographs and all these things. You can't do.
Yeah, but you're not there for the
events.
autographs. You're there to troll people. But even better, instead of going as Gandalf, go as Gollum. Precious. Have you seen Precious?
Carry the ring around.
Yeah.
Just carry the ring around. Yeah,
Hold it
dude,
like
that would
really
be
tight,
awesome.
like it's burning your hand. Precious.
Oh.
And then have a friend of yours show up as a hobbit, and always make sure you're on opposite sides of the park, so you never actually find each other. Again, we go off on tangents.
Have you seen my Peggins? Have you seen my Peggins?
Have you seen my ring? Have you seen my ring? We're going to hell.
Just sit right by the castle.
Oh my god!
Have you seen my Hobbit?
Go to Central Park by the water and going, Shire! Shire! Oh my god.
Oh man.
Oh, if anybody shows up to the mentor, starts screaming, Nazgul! Nazgul! And run away!
It burns! It burns!
Okay. Okay, cool.
You know you're really white when your face turns completely red when you're laughing.
Yeah.
And the mirror doesn't help me because I see myself like as red as the
I'm not
painting
even
behind me.
I'm not even looking at the mirror at this point because I'm like, nope, not gonna do it. Not gonna do it.
So,
cool.
Doug Benson.
What were we talking about? Doug Benson. Yes.
I give it about a 7 out of 10. It's enjoyable. It's good to watch, but yeah.
You don't want to give it a 4 out of 20? Okay.
So we had 2 out of 10. 2 out of 10.
2 out of 10, yeah.
2 out of 10.
It's only half as good as me.
So, what was it that you watched this week?
Oh, I don't want to talk about my mind's too political. This is too funny.
See, this is what happens when we talk about stoners.
Yeah. And ironically, I don't even smoke. I mean, I used to. I mean, so that's, something to happen.
Yeah, me either, but it's amusing either way.
Oh, okay. So I watched George Lopez's new stand-up called The Wall, live from DC.
Not to be confused with Pink Floyd.
Not to be said, yeah, not to be said with Pink Floyd, The Wall. This is George Lopez, The Wall. And obviously George Lopez being George Lopez, and being live in Washington, he's funny. I mean, I've always enjoyed Lopez from his show, his early stand-up, and his HBO specials, and he did not let me down in this one. He was George Lopez, being George Lopez, how him as a Mexican here and talking about minorities, not just, the Latinos, but all minorities in America, and now with the administration that we have. And obviously, he tries to make light of it and make jokes about it, which when you touch...
Does he do, serious jokes, though? Or does he,
both.
Is he, doing the stabs, the jolts at the president? Or is it,
both. He doesn't necessarily, obviously he goes after Trump because,
yeah.
But it's when you have an easy target like that. But, he when you make political jokes and obviously you know where your stance is and people know where your stance is, but you still want to try and entertain the crowds. You don't want to alienate yourself too much from what is the people that's making that are fans.
Yeah.
It's always harder to do. It's one of the what I think is one of the hardest things in comedy because you don't want to go too far, but you don't want to stay too serious. So you have this bubble that you don't want to stray too far off of or even burst it.
He doesn't want to alienate a specific demographic.
Exactly. You know, he talks about growing up Mexican in America, and his parents, and then obviously he goes off in how America was built by immigrants, and now we have an administration that's trying to stop that now, and he well. Somewhat, but you also have to remember when you're making a parody of something, you tend to stretch it out more than it really is, because you're going to try and make light of it. So, I mean, not everything's based on facts, but...
But that's the problem, though. In our society now, everything that people do to the extremes is it's made as fact, which kind of... People lose the point of comedy. It's like, this is not fact, guys. This is a person's opinion, and he's making jokes for you to laugh about. Don't take it serious. Don't go in it. Oh, screw you, George Lopez, you freaking Mexican. I probably have to bleep that out, don't I?
You said we dropped the F-bomb 3 times in the past 2 episodes, and frigging is where you
I'm talking about the Mexican. Is that okay now to say?
Yeah, I mean...
I don't know.
We're both Latino, so whatever. We're good. Right? It's not racist if we're part of it. We don't want to insult them white people. No, see, that's racist.
I'll bleep that out then.
The first time in ever that white people is going to be bleeped out. People are going to wonder, what the hell did he bleep out? We're like, white people. But it was entertaining because, like I said, George Lopez is one of those comedians that doesn't just get on stage and says punchlines and says jokes. You know, he talks about reality, kind of like how Robin Williams used to be with his stand-ups.
Oh, dude.
You talk about reality, you talk about what's going on in society, but then you make light of it and you make jokes of it, and in some cases because you're a comedian, because you're a professional, you can say things in a joking way that if we were to say the same exact thing, we'd never hear the end of it. So. And it's good. I think that's one of the reasons why I like him, and I like comedians like that now, because it's refreshing to see that the mentality when it comes to the parody of it. I'm not the only one there. They make kind of like the same jokes, like the same thought process, and it's like, to somebody that doesn't really know what's going on, or lives in their own little bubble in a shelter, they may not find it as entertaining and as funny, but as somebody that reads the news, and not just like one outlet, but like different outlets, CNN, Fox News, CNBC, whatever it may be, is online. It's like, okay, it's only like an hour long. It's like some comedians will go like an hour and a half, almost 2 hours. It's like after a while it just becomes like background noise. But it's everything just kind of like follows through. Everything flows, one subject into the other. And
nothing compares to Robin Williams stand-up though. I have never seen anything that compares to Robin Williams stand-up.
No, I mean
that live on Broadway. Oh my!
That I have it on DVD. I think that was the first ever stand-up comedy that I had on DVD.
Yeah. I mean, I literally came out my cheeks hurt from watching that movie because it was ridiculous. You literally don't stop laughing the whole time.
It was one of his best ones, and especially when he goes into the whole how golf was invented by the Scots. Oh my God! You can't understand the Scot to start with. Try getting drunk with them. Yeah. But like I said, it was funny. It was funny, but it was serious, and it's just one of those. It kept my attention, and for a stand-up comedy to not become background noise, but to keep the attention when you're not in the theater watching it, obviously, but you're watching it on screen. It's actually captivating. It's actually good. You know that they're doing their job right, to where it's like, oh wait, no, I have to go to the bathroom. I'm gonna keep no. I have to go to the bathroom. I literally paused it because I'm like, I don't want to miss. I don't want to miss this.
A punchline.
So
I'll definitely check it out because I do like George Lopez. I just haven't ever seen anything that has a good collection of stuff. I've seen him live once. Mm-hmm. I've heard some of his stand-up comedy in an audio form. Mm-hmm. I loved it, but skits, 5-10 minute skits about something or another.
Yeah.
But never seen full feature-length thing about him.
What I like about George Lopez is like Robin Williams. Robin Williams had like his voices. That's what was Robin Williams. That's he was able to impersonate just about anybody. George Lopez, when you watch him, like it's one thing when you hear him on audio, but when you get to see him and you get to see his facial expressions that go along with it, and how he throws in like Spanish words, which even if you don't understand Spanish, he just swore in Spanish because he just can. There's no, and the thing is like speaking multiple languages. One thing that I've learned and one thing that I realized is that there are certain words in different languages which are so much stronger when they come out. People like in the English language or the American language are like, the F word is like the strongest word there is. And there is, because nothing's like,
falls flat.
Boom. But there's certain things, but if you translate them, it makes no sense.
Oh, yeah.
But for example, like in Italian, there's just certain words that you just, boom, come out, and they're so strong. And, in Italian to Italian, they're like, oh, wow, no, you really went there. That's like, okay, that's cool. But when you translate it to English, it's like, that makes no sense. Like, none whatsoever. It's like, okay. And French to a degree as well, but like Latin and Spanish as well.
Dude.
I mean, Yeah. And then Polish is another one where it's like there's certain words in Polish that, the Americans are going, wow, I thought our words were bad. Like, okay.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. At least Hispanics, I can tell you personally, like Hispanics talk very aggressive already. So then when they throw a curse word, it's even more like, ooh, what? Stop, what?
Speaking of Hispanics, and not like aggressive, but like, how like certain Hispanics just like, it's like a machine gun just coming out, words just like, you're like, wait, hold on, no. I heard, I was flipping through their radio stations the other day, and I stopped on a Spanish station, and it was a commercial on, and apparently they were reading the fine print at the end. I thought the English fine print talked really fast. This one literally sounded. I'm like, I believe they may have said something, but it was fine print, and I did not believe. There's people out there that are able to talk that fast, and it's like good for them. But I'll never learn that quickly.
Yeah, right.
But anyway, back to this. It's like comedians have like different sectors, and Lopez, like Williams, has his stick where his stick is, talking about himself, talking about him growing up, and especially being able to talk about them from the minority's point of view, but like his facial expressions and the way that he just portrays himself. And I mean, yes, with you and with a lot of people out there, there'll never be another Robin Williams. We don't want there to be another Robin Williams.
Never.
But there are those comedians which, to this day, back then there were those comedians that got on stage, told jokes, had fun, and you went home. Now that they're getting older and you've gotten older with them and you've experienced society with them and they're more political, but they're still being funny. Dave Chappelle's actually going down that road as well.
I love Dave Chappelle's show. That show was awesome.
It was a very funny show. That there were some things where I was like, and then he went to Africa and did everything else, but coming back, it's like Carlos Mencia. I haven't seen Mencia recently, so I don't know what he's doing. He's actually he was in Orlando this weekend. He's actually in Orlando. But when I watched it, he was like literally just like talking about like when you go to work or when you look in society and you see somebody do something stupid and you just want to be like, what is wrong with you? That was his stick. That was his like, I'm gonna say things how they are. I'm gonna speak people's minds.
Jerry Seinfeld.
I'm waiting, exactly, Jerry Seinfeld as well. I'm waiting for like his new special to come on whichever outlet it may be, because I want to see which route he's decided to go. Especially somebody like Mencia, to where his big thing was making that sound.
I've never
of like
seen anything of Mencia.
Really?
Ever.
Look, his old stuff is funny. Obviously, very far from being politically correct. But
I like that. I don't like the fact that they have to censor themselves to be politically correct. It's so stupid. It's comedy, man. Just take it with a grain of salt. That's it. People need to get off their high horse with that.
Unfortunately. But
yeah.
Overall, I mean, if you want to, sit down, enjoy, watch Lopez, you've been a fan, you'll stay a fan, I can promise you that. I'd give it like a 9.5 out of 10. It was very well done. Obviously, I mean, you can't really talk about cinematography or anything like that
of course
when it
not.
comes. But for what it is, for a stand-up comedy, it was actually really good, really spot on. I would sit and watch it again, which when you watch stand-up, you really don't have that urge. But it's actually really good, so I highly recommend it. It's streaming on Netflix. It just came out a couple months ago. It actually came out a month ago, but it was recorded a couple months ago. So check it out and enjoy and let us know.
Chronicon as well. Episode 420 and New Dope is on Netflix as well, and both of these are on Netflix. That's pretty cool. So my name is Louis.
I'm Will.
And this is Man Bites Film. We'll see you guys next week for another episode.